Hello, fellow humans. We're coming to you live on location because I'm reorganizing my basement again. For me to go more than 2 months without rearranging something in my house would be very rare. I'm constantly hoping that I'm going to find the perfect layout that will make everything just a beautiful, usable space. So I haven't been doing great at the challenges, but let's not focus on the past this week. Let's focus so much on the future that we maybe give ourselves a complex, or maybe we make a breakthrough. Did you make any resolutions this year? How are they going? I make resolutions every year. I can't help it. Last year my goal was simply create more, and I failed miserably. But for a couple of years before that, I was actually on an upwards trajectory, and I was getting a lot of my resolutions actually accomplished. There were things like go to Zumba 3 times a week. Yeah, I didn't get that done. But things like make more bread, yeah, I did that. And I still do. I know they say you're not supposed to make New Year's resolutions because of the psychology of it, yada yada yada. The thing is, I don't just make New Year's resolutions. I have winter goals, summer goals, garden goals, house goals. I have 52 goals just this year, and that's not even scratching the surface, honestly. Look at how many notebooks I have going right now. It's ridiculous. Thing is, they're all nearly empty. This one's from last year. There's nothing in it. The pages are still, the pages aren't even broken in yet. I feel like maybe I'm addicted to aspiration. I just hope that eventually I'm gonna find the perfect notebook or the perfect layout or the perfect something that will just make my life easier. Logically, I know that hard work is all it takes, but I feel like I'm working really hard. So if I could just engineer a few solutions, then everything would work easier. So there's this book. You know what? I have it. So there's this book, Walden 2 by B.F. Skinner. See, most people, when they think of Skinner, they think about the Skinner box, because they think that he put a kid or his kid or a kid or dozens of children in these boxes. But that didn't actually happen. So he hypothesized what would happen if you could raise a child in a box and provide it with all of the necessary things like food and water, etc., and make sure that it's clean and fed and warm, etc. And then just don't subject it to any of the kind of culture that we humans give them in socialization. And he hypothesized what would happen. Would the child develop their own language, etc.? But at no point did he actually do that. What he did do, so he built basically like this incubator for his infant child who was fully termed, didn't need to be in an incubator, but he thought the idea is that if you put the child in this humidity and temperature controlled environment, then you don't need to have them in all of these clothes that we dress up little babies in. And that's obviously going to be a lot less laundry, a lot less chores, and that's the kind of behavioral engineering that he was really interested in. And this book is about I guess I would call it, utopian. Yeah, they even call it here. They call it a modern utopia. And it's basically like a secular commune that uses behaviorism to get better results than a secular commune normally would. A lot of the times, if you're going to go and start a community that is aside from society, you need a pretty compelling reason, and religion is often that reason. And if you don't have that reason, statistically, secular communes just don't last very long. So I was looking up, actually, and they have started a few communities based on the ideas in the book. And none of the communities have stuck true to the book, and they've usually changed things or given up a lot of the ideas. And some of them are still operating, some of them aren't, but none of them are huge. And as a side note, while I was looking this up, I found out that behaviorism is often associated with gay conversion therapy, and I'm not down for that. That's no. No. But what I do like is the ideas in this book and just the way that they have made a society easier to live in. Now, does that require a lot of startup capital? Absolutely. Like, you need to invest in the technology in order to make these ideas come to fruition. There's obviously lots of issues. Maybe I'll do an entire video about this book sometime, but that's not this video. So when I talk about behavioral engineering, I'm talking more about like when restaurants will put a garbage next to the door, because you know how you use the paper towel to grab the handle and then you gotta throw it somewhere. If the garbage is right there, then fewer people will throw their stuff on the floor. That's a good thing. Anyway, all of that is to say that hopefully this new basement layout is gonna be great. So like I said, this week hasn't gone great for the goals, but I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway because I am rearranging the whole basement, and that has definitely been time consuming. That being said, I do think that I could have done better, especially if I had had a list. And so I'm going to turn all of these guys into just one, and then I will be doing a to-do list every day. I'm going to actually, that is the goal. Now that is the thing that I have to do every day, hopefully I will actually do it, and then that will make it easier to do the other things. I have kind of cheated a little bit, and I started making the lists a couple days early, and I do find that it has already increased my productivity a little bit. I've seen things where they say you're supposed to only put about like 4 things on a to-do list. I have about 20, but whatever, it's fine. When the things are really small, then sometimes there's gonna be a lot of them. So I'm gonna try and make the list before bed, because then when I wake up in the morning, I already know what I'm gonna face in the day. I mean, in an ideal world, I would be sitting there drinking my tea and making my list in the quiet morning sun. But in reality, it is still pitch black out, the children are screaming, and the tea is already cold, so. For a while there, I was starting to get into bullet journaling, and maybe someday I will be able to get back into that, but I had a pretty major depressive episode in 2019, so just writing down the date got to be too much effort, so. We're gonna start small. I've got an actual journal. This is going to be the new one. It's a 16-month journal, or a 20-month journal, I don't know, but obviously I'm not going to use the first several months of it, but I like that it's got stuff like this. I like that. Anyways, the extra pages, the blank pages of all of these books, don't worry, they're not going to go to waste. Not in this household, not with crafty kids. As for the sewing project, did not get the shirt done, didn't do anything on it, but I did finish this robe. I started it 20 years ago, and I've been wearing it with super long sleeves and tripping over the hems all of this time, and so I finally hemmed it, and I finally shortened the sleeves. So, baby steps. So we're 1/13 of the way done the year. There's still plenty of time to get back on track. This is probably where I would do like an 80s training montage, but I can't afford the licensing rights, and we know that I can't sing, so, you know. Stay gnarly, fellow humans. Let's focus on the future so much that we possibly give ourselves a complex. Complex.